Knock knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange you glad I didn't say banana? So lines are kind of like that joke. They go on forever. If you haven't already, I would take this moment to pause the video and just go ahead and read what it says up here. This word line, we know what a line looks like. You might see a word called linear at some point, so it's just the word line with an AR at the end. It's used to describe relationships that when you graph them, they make a line. So everything we're looking at is linear relationships because they're points that make a line. Like I said, pause the video, read, and then we'll talk. So I'm waiting for you to pause it. Okay, and we're back. Cool. So all we're doing with this is we're taking these linear relationships and we're turning them into equations. That's the goal, right? So when you see a line is just a bunch of dots. And we just want to pick out the dots that are the easiest ones to read. And so what I use is I use my x's and I look for when they're whole numbers. So I look at 0 and I go to 1 and then I go up to the line and mark it. And I go to my next hole, 2, and mark it. 3, mark it. 4, mark it. And I could keep going if I wanted to, but really we just need to focus on the first few. So for ordered pairs, I want to get an x and a y, right? So I go 0, 0. And then the next one is over 1, up, and it looks like that's in between 0 and 1. So we're going to say 1, and then half. So 0.5. At 2, the y is 1. And when x is 3, the y is in between 1 and 2. So I'm going to put 1.5. So once I know the first few ordered pairs, I can put those on a table. Remember, the goal is to come up with the rule or the relationship between x and y. And actually, it's really easy to see here. So we're looking from x to y. Do we see an increase or a decrease? Looks like x is getting smaller. So I'm thinking it's either subtract or divide. This one here looks pretty easy. So I can either take away 1, but that doesn't work for these two. So instead, I'm going to divide 2. So I divide 2. If it works for all of them, then we have our relationship. So we can say to make y, we take x and we divide it by 2. And that's your equation. Some of you may be thinking that there's another way to write it, so you can put an or here. This is just good to know. If x divided by 2 is one way to make y, we could also say that y is half of x. So that's something you'll see definitely as you guys get older. So it's not a bad thing to add. As you open it up, you have 4 more to do. They're pretty fun. They're easy. One thing I might just caution you to is if you see something like this where it's 0 and 8, you may want to label the missing numbers between them. It's just a little easier to read. But really, you just need to pick off the first few anyways. So as long as you're marking on the holes, you should be good. Verbal description just means basically take what the equation is and put it into words. So you'd start with something like, to make y, divide x by blank, or multiply x by blank. You would just tell what you're doing to the x to make the y. Cool? All right, well, see you later, bananas. Aren't you glad this video is done?